Hey, how y'all doing today? Today we're going to do something a little different. Just give me 1 second. Today we're going to do a movie review. We're going to do a movie review of The Matrix, okay? Yeah, that's right. I decided to dress up a little bit, dress a little up for the occasion, okay? Now normally we don't talk about movies, okay? We don't talk about movies, but something special like The Matrix, something so influential, I will talk about, okay? I will talk about that. Now, some might call this The Matrix 4, others might call it Matrix 4, if you know what I mean. It came with a little flavor of little femme empowerment there. We'll talk about that today, okay? But seriously though, we're gonna really talk about this movie. It's really we'll behave as best as we can, okay? We'll be we'll keep it serious, okay? With the theme. That's the color scheme they were going with, right? But I'll always recognize it as the Matrix, okay? So we'll do this movie review right now because it, like I said before, it's a little different. It's a film that was very influential. It changed a lot of lives, okay? It changed a lot of viewpoints of how people see the world, okay? It created a whole mentality, a whole new mindset, right? It gave birth to a whole new way of thinking about things, right? Talking about systems and being oppressed, talking about actual, like, systematic, like, people holding you down as part of a cog in the system. We're talking about bankers, right? A lot of big talk about bankers ruling the world. Talking about a lot of control factors, management, middle management, little mini enforcers. Talking about what from your 9 to 5 slave labor. I call it the office plantation, versus like the society standards and what is expected of you and all that good stuff. Let me just go ahead and do that real quick so I can actually see the screen there. Perfect. But yeah, man, it's definitely one of those things. Ooh, I'm messing with it a little too much. Sorry, guys. I want to look at what I'm talking about. Look, so it changed a lot of people's lives. Let's just make no bones about it. This whole world would not be, a lot of things in society today would not be where it's at without, to be quite honest, the Matrix. Like it just is what it is. You know what I mean? You can't make any bones about it. I think it's one of the most influential movies of all time in general. The first one, we're talking about the first one. The whole concept of the red pill taking the blue pill, whatever, all that stuff has changed a lot of people's minds about a lot of things, right? It was very, very, very life changing on a whole societal scale. Not to over the top make it like such a universal thing, but it did. It influenced a lot of people, and a lot of ways of life were available to a lot of people because of it, right? Going your own way, the whole concept of going your own way, the whole concept of, like I always talk about, even the shadow pill, where it came from, the Matrix, going your own way, taking your own path, not deciding this way, that way, this way, but creating your way, creating your path, okay, to making it in life. Let me just take these off because I really want to talk to you on a very like serious level, right? It did. It changed a lot of lives. So to say that this movie coming back after its 2 other films that were not well received, it in the modern day, it can be with the things that are going on today. It had a lot going for it as far as chances, but it also had a lot going against it. Right? And I've said before, a lot of people are going to be paying attention to this film to see where it goes. Is it going to go all out crazy with today's, is it part of the system now? Or is it going to go against the grain and do its own thing as as the first film did? Just going its own way, doing its own thing, kind of being a new philosophy, right? Transforming into something else, elevating into something else, right? Shape-shifting into something bigger and better than before. Or is it gonna just be an action movie, right? You know what I mean? Like it's people said it's probably just gonna be something even more extreme into the system, because the people who created the movie, let's be honest, they became pawns of the system. In my opinion, they became agents of the system. Anytime the system gives you something, you should always look at it. You should always look at it with the side eye and say, that's a trap. Because nothing the system gives you serves, anything but the system. Like, it's going to serve the system. Anything the system gives you, especially for free, just like I always say, if you get something for free, what is it? It's part of the system. It's part of the whole package. It's meant to make you more of a slave, okay? Remember that. Anytime the system gives you something, there's a reason. There's a reason. Nothing is given for free, especially. If you got something for free, you're not the customer. You're the product. Okay, I'm going to say it again. If you got something for free, you're the product. You just have to ask yourself, how okay are you? Risk mitigation, risk management. How okay are you being the product in this time and in this moment, and what did you get out of it? Just like in this film, right now, the people who are being represented, they're kind of the product, to be honest. The representation stuff, all that stuff that's going on today, a lot of it is they are the product. They are being sold something, right? Whether it's the commercials, stuff in the commercials, or if it's something that has to do with, a mentality, a mindset that they're trying to put on you that doesn't free you, that makes you more of an inhibited slave, right? So, like, victim mindset as opposed to like a winner's mindset, being successful and pushing yourself further and harder than you ever did before because you want to, right? As opposed to like, you're dragging yourself down saying, oh, I'm being put upon, I can't succeed because all these things are on top of me. I can't make it in life because all these people are, holding me down, blah, blah, blah. That's going to hold you down instinctively. Just you're not going to want to succeed in anything. You're not going to want to do anything. And what did I say before? You're only a winner out here and when you're a winner in here first. You can't be a winner out in the real world, in the material world, all out here until you're a winner in here. So there's that. So let me go ahead and actually review the film. So for me, I'm going to give you the full disclaimer, okay? Full disclaimer, whatever you want to call it. I am biased in that I've seen the movie in the original theaters and I loved it, right? I was a big fan of it. And I came to this film with the lens of I have no expectation, okay? Because the second movie and the third movie I saw back to back. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was already like, that was when they killed it for me. I was like, all right, it's not good. All right, I'll leave it alone. And then the CGI was bad. It was a lot of bad things about it. This film kind of continued that, right? I had zero expectation. I came out going, okay, it was a film. I'm going to say that. It kind of did the worst thing. It wasn't the worst thing I ever saw. It definitely wasn't the best thing I ever saw. It was just somewhere in the middle, right? So I'll give you a couple of things I want to say that happened in the film that aren't spoilers, just general ideas, okay? So you have a sad Neo. This is a sad Neo, a guy who has been held down. He's being controlled. I think you saw that in the trailer. He's being controlled. He went back into the Matrix. And he's living a life of, that 9-to-5 office slave job, right? Even though he's successful, he's a big name, right? He's something, they gave him something, but at the same time, he's still an office slave. He hates it. He's feeling empty inside. He has, nothing. Then he goes to the coffee shop and then he sees somebody who gives him every time he sees, when you go to a coffee shop, you see someone, she's cute. That happened. And for him, he's just, still in his sad mode. So he doesn't even try. He's stuck in that Matrix mindset where he can't do anything and change anything about his life. He can't take action on his life. He just lets life happen to him, right? He lets others control him. So you have that aspect of the movie. You have a character, an Asian character. Her name is Bugs, as in Bugs Bunny. I didn't like that one bit. Although, in my opinion, she could be a good character. Again, she could be the character idea. The origin story of her could be a good character. The way I see it is her character actually doesn't belong in this franchise. She could actually be a better character in a different cyberpunk sci-fi kind of movie series, right? She's kind of a main character kind of type person, or even like a what do they call those? A deuteragonist. I don't think that's what it's called. A secondary main character. She could be that in a different film franchise that had just started, that doesn't have, a lore behind it yet, right? It's just starting out. She doesn't have that appeal, right? Of like that layered appeal of character. She just seems like a an original character made in a video game. You know, when someone's playing a game and you're playing a game or whatever, and there's characters who are like already established, and then you custom create your own character. That's what we have going on in this. This is a character who's custom created, whatever. It was just, there's something missing. There's something missing in that character. Just some soul, something about it. Her motivations are, her motivations are all about every other character but herself. She doesn't really have her own ideas of what she wants to do. She just exists as I gotta find Neo. We gotta do it. And it's just like, okay. And then there's that. And then you have, there's a lot that's not good in this film. I'm not gonna go and beat it up. I'm just trying to like give you the general. I'm trying to be nice. Y'all. I'm trying to be nice. Right? At the same time, it's a lot to beat up. For example, the Swarm. I hated the Swarm. What a lazy like enemy type. It's like even video games do a better job. And if video games doing a better job of creating monstrous, cannon fodder, you're messing up as the Matrix. You should know better. You're the Matrix. You could do better. This is a joke. Like, they're basically humans. They're basically digital zombies. Not even in a good way. I just made that sound better than it actually is. There's zombies who are people, and they turn into zombies when their eyes turn into those digital, like the Matrix going down, like what you see on the screen. Like the digital things go down, the numbers go down their eyes, and then they turn into those things, right? And they're just like monstrous, non-thinking creatures. They just try to like, they turn into like human cockroaches. They're just trying to get at you, right? And it's just sad. It like, I knew immediately when they're introduced, when they're introduced in the film as the homeless guy and a bunch of them, like they're homeless people, trash monsters basically. I knew immediately. I said, this is a joke. This is awful. This is the worst possible way to introduce this cannon fodder enemy, and I don't know what else to say. Like, this is really bad, guys. Like, really bad. Like, they could have done so much better. Like, have they played a single video game? Have they read books? I don't understand. Have they not been like looking at other sci-fi, cyberpunk stuff since the 2000s? I mean, what's wrong with them? This is 2021. You could do better than this. This is a joke. So anyways, so there's that. And that wasn't good. That wasn't good at all. I personally found it to be sad a little bit. It's a little sad, man. I was just like, this is the Matrix. This is kind of embarrassing. And then of course, as I've said before, there's the there's the fempowerment part of the film, and I just knew that was coming because Neo is sad boy Neo, homeless hobo Neo, the chosen hobo. I'm gonna call him the chosen hobo, and he's just kind of like slumping all the time. Even when he's like actually doing fights and stuff, he's doing all this kung fu, and he's still not getting it. He's just still not in his mojo. He's not I hate to say this, but he's not all here, in my personal opinion. Like, he's kind of out of it. Like, he's just the whole time not not in his groove. They even said it in the film. You don't have your mojo. I'm just like, how could you be so obvious? Like, how could you be so obvious and understand that your main protagonist, your main hero, is kind of fallen for that whole Luke Skywalker in The Last Jedi kind of setup, where he's just like this defeated guy, the beaten guy. Let me tell you something. What you don't do when you have your new genre, your new reboot, whatever. If you're trying to reboot a series, or if you're trying to like do a final film or whatever, don't show your protagonist defeated already. Okay, don't do it. You can make your protagonist have like losses and stuff. That's fine. Nothing wrong with that. You can have your protagonist even be beaten in some ways, like as far as like, oh, I've lost people, blah blah blah, or he has a different personality as far as like, oh yeah, now I'm a pacifist or something like that, like Old Man Logan. I don't know about the film, but I'm talking about the comic book. Like Old Man Logan was like, I don't want to fight. I'm just a pacifist now. He was defeated in a different type of way. He was defeated, but he moved on in life, right? He's a guy who still had a backbone. He had still courage. He can actually do it. But his concern was, if I get back into fighting, what will I become now? Like, without anything to lose, what will I do? He's not afraid for himself or sad or whatever. He's afraid for other people because he has no limits. That's the thing about Neo. It's like, okay, if you have been resurrected or whatever and they're like trying to like control you and all that stuff and you're just going about your life, it's fine to have a character like that who's already like, hating his job. And if he goes back to like Matrix 1 almost, like where he's just like kind of he kind of has a little bit of like he's doing the secret life stuff going on again. But at the same time, now the Matrix knows about his secret life kind of thing, and they're trying to like control him in new ways and everything. That would be fine. Or you could take this approach. You could say, hey, he's back to the job 9 to 5 or whatever, but now he's angry all the time. He hates his job. He hates everything. He just wants to figure it out, and he can't quite figure it out. He doesn't know why. That would be one way to control him. That's fine. Let the Matrix control him that way and be like, yo, you are not ever going to get up out of here. We're going to control you. We're going to beat you down. And he just won't get back down. He just won't take a knee. He's just trying every day trying to get out of the system, but he can't by himself. So now he needs help. That's fine. You can do that. That's how you do it. That's how you tell a story about a character he has been defeated, right? But he won't get down. He won't back down. He won't give up. That's how you do it. You want to tell a story about a protagonist who is like this amazing person who was always a fighter in his whole life. Still keep him fighting. Don't make him some guy who's like, oh, whatever. Even when they're controlling his feelings, that's fine. Manipulate him psychologically, like I won't spoil it, but there's a character who's manipulating this guy psychologically, but at the same time, you can do that, but also still have him be mad. He's like, I just don't want to talk about it. I just want to, make him stoic. That would be amazing. He'd be like, look, I don't want to talk about it. I'm good. Let me just go home, okay? Thank you. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, let him just keep it to himself and everything, but he's still angry and he don't want to, reach out to people. He just wants to, like, figure it out himself, and then people come for him, to help him. That would be one way to do it. So that's like a lot of avenues. There's a lot of avenues to make this movie good. But they just, man, they did not. And also, the last thing I will say is I absolutely hated hobo-looking Neo. They should have definitely made that temporary. Cut his hair, cut the beard. He did that. And once, like, obviously, when you get out of the Matrix, you look different. That's fine. But to be the same hobo-looking thing the whole way through, I'm sorry. That's just unacceptable for me. Unacceptable. I hated that 100%. Anyways, that's it. I'm going to not say any more because I'll spoil the whole movie. I will say, once again, the fempowerment thing was so transparent. I knew that was going to happen. But again, like I said, that Bugs character, I know a lot of people hated her. I agree. I get why she's not liked. I think she just doesn't belong. I think she just is not a fit for that type of movie. She could actually be good in a different sci-fi. There's lots of sci-fis. I mean, look at Mirror's Edge, that game where the girl was running. She was Asian and she fit perfectly in that film or that game or whatever. I mean, may as well be a film, to be honest. That was what, 10 years ago, 12 years ago? I'm dating myself now, but you get what I'm saying. That's a film that or game, whatever. That's a universe that kind of character fits. She should actually go in a different kind of series. I'll be honest with you, I don't think she was very original. I'm gonna say that again. I don't think she's very original. The whole short hair thing with the blue whatever, that's so passé. That's so overdone. I've seen it a billion places. If you read any sci-fi or watch any cyberpunk or sci-fi or any kind of sci-fi mediums, especially cyberpunk, that's just a common, boring staple at this point. If you want to actually see a character like her look a little bit more look different, like a character like her that actually works a lot better design wise, go look at the Akali character they made in, what was that game? I forgot what it was called, League of Legends. That they made her into a pop star. She looks much more original than Bugs over there looks. I'm sorry, I'm gonna just say it right now. I think short hair in Cyberpunk or whatever is kind of like, I don't know. I think it's passe at this point. It's just so overdone. It's almost like a trope. It's like a common boring trope. It's funny, the people who were like super anti the tropes of the females, the damsels in distress. I wanted to say females in distress, but I think damsel is the term, right? So the damsel in distress idea versus the whatchamacallit other idea, the original, like, she could do anything kind of character. It's almost like they kind of took the other direction, and they have there's no nuance there, and also it's becoming a trope, like it's a trope on its own. So kind of messed up. You kind of messed up there. That was a big faux pas. She could look again. She could still be still be heroic and everything, still doing action or whatever. But like to like get rid of your femininity as in the process of it's kind of like, I don't know, like you kind of you're missing the point. You missed the point. You kind of missed the point of the whole thing in general. Fighting the system again. You're fighting the system. You became the system. In fact, I'm gonna say this. It's a little tiny spoiler. I'm sorry. I'm just tiny bit. You can leave if you don't want to hear a tiny spoiler. They're working with the robots. They got robots working for them. Yeah, man. I mean, what a way to symbolically say that you're part of the system. It's so funny. It's like, hey, fight the system by being part of the system. It's like, no, that's not how that works. You're supposed to be fighting the system. Then they try to justify it by saying, look at the people who couldn't get rid of fighting the system. We made this whole thing with the system. It's like, great, you sold your soul. Great job. You sold your soul. And even then, they kind of low key said she was the lady trying to defend it was kind of the bad guy in a way, because she was inhibiting the Neo. Like, she was trying to stop Neo from rescuing someone. I'm gonna just say that. And then you know how that turned out if you watch the film. But anyways, so I just wanted to establish that there's lots of nuances in this film as far as the discussion that could be had, but there's also like the things that they did were just they missed the mark. I give it a C minus, because it wasn't as bad as it could have been, but it was so bland. They kind of went with the safe tropes for their own political party. They kind of went with the safe tropes there without really realizing that they became part of the system, which is ironic to me. They should start. They should call this the Matrix status quo. Anyways, if you like this video, thanks so much for watching. I appreciate your time. Hit the like button. I appreciate that. Share this review. I would appreciate that too with all your friends. Have a great day. Let me know if you want more kind of movie reviews. I can do that. I can do that every once in a while. I don't know if I'll make this a common thing, but we'll see. Thanks again, and appreciate you. Have a great